normally bring to the table.
And let's talk a little bit about Luminosity as Sentinels and TENZ got the early part of that chat. Such a team that can vary so much is what I wanted to say. You'll see a Proto on Cypher, the next map Raze, and the rest of the team has this power. And I feel like knowing what you're facing, having that second nature to realize what you're going up against, tap the bomb or tap the spike when you need to get into a situation, draw a molly. What's on the map really helps, and I think LG plays that cerebral game a bit around their default strats. You see them default a lot. They always go to each side, the spike is usually dropped, and then they'll grab it. It's a very cerebral team in that sense, and then they'll start to hit. A Thief, I love it. He likes to push, he likes to be on the front lines there, and you usually see Dre with him quite a few times. But my eyes are on Thief here to start off, and obviously TENZ on the other side as we're coming out of Agent Select.
You know, a couple interesting things as we take a look at compositions and what we're going to be looking at for the next few minutes. So, recently, on Ascent, Stellar has not been playing Omen. In fact, he's been playing more Duelists, and it's actually Dre who's been playing the Omen. But this time, we've got a little bit of going back to what LG used to do, right? Like, historical LG was Dre on the Duelist, Stellar on the Omen. But again, off of some recent matches, they've swapped, but it looks like they're going back to what they know.
You know, why not? You know, if it's going to feel comfortable that way. I think Dre's been feeling really comfortable just being aggressive lately and making sure that he can open up the site for the team. He's had some great frags and just great high KDAs throughout some of the recent matches. One of the things about LG that worries me is their ability to really string together those wins when they need them or adapt within the game. A lot of what we see, the past 2 losses were 0-2s. The 2 wins before that were 2-0s. So it's kind of no middle ground, as I said before. And they gotta find some footing in the beginning, I think, to make it start to work. Here, again, Thief and Dre getting their feet wet in mid. As I said, they may do so right off the bat here, Doug. They love the pressure. They love to make their opponents get sweaty in the beginning and find whatever angles they can push them off of. Dapper to open it up on Thief as he gets a little too curious.
A bit too curious indeed. He's going to drop numbers advantage in favor of Sentinels early on. Also, shout out to everyone behind the scenes who's brought us this dope new overlay. You love to see it. Dre gets onto Dapper, trades that kill out as it looks like TENZ is trying to keep back the aggression across the middle of the map. You see the spike there. Pistol round goes absolutely chaotic as it drops down to a 3v3.
Slowly walking the spike back. They don't really want to commit to anything just yet here. And we do see TENZ on that jet. So being able, we didn't really discuss it, but being able to see him get that position to still be very aggro. Obviously, Shazam's going to look to play the Sova here. So that works out. And they push in.
Left.
We're going to see that Moose is the first one. He'll be a bit of a sentry with low HP as long as he can get that initiator dart in. It's good to go. The curveball to answer. Shots from Sick and doing what he does best, opening it up for the team to have a bit easier of a chance to get in here. 3v2, Moose is low and Stellar at full health. And here comes the Molly.
Oh, the Molly is good. That just buys him so much time, and then Sick goes in. He gets a beautiful 3K to secure the round for Sentinels. So well played.
Cheers.
Well played as a team. I mean, you're coming in with a Sova, you're coming in with a Phoenix. There's no reason to go 1 by 1. You have everything you need to retake that site. And Sentinels are a team that I just like almost just call the retake team all the time. When they play bind and they have a Cypher out, they'll throw traps in a site and just leave it there. Coming back in with their utility, high return on investment to find 1 of 5 opponents hiding somewhere in the site. And they utilize that so well. It's interesting to see if they'll keep doing that now with TENZ in. If that's just kind of like, hey, our retakes are where we're at, and TENZ will be happy with that. Judge for him, as it's going to be a bit of a sheriff role here on the side of Luminosity for round 2.
Nothing quite like a Jet with a shotgun in hand. Sentinels, as you mentioned, get the early round in that pistol, and now it's a bit of a slower look here from Luminosity. And Riv, this is what you mentioned prior to the map starting, right? Like they can be so defaulty, and you know that kind of carries a negative connotation, but you think about how much utility is drawn out from the opposing team due to that play style, it makes a lot of sense.
And you learn a lot too. I think Luminosity, as I said, a cerebral team, likes to figure out what kind of precedent is being set by their opponents. Here, TENZ being TENZ, that's expected already. But you can see where they're playing, how they're rotating a little bit, or how fast they're rotating as a Proto comes up huge on the Cypher, taking off heads as he makes his way into B here. 50 seconds. left in the round. The 4v3 and Luminosity making it very possible here to grab the second round of the half, or the first half.
And look at what Stellar just did. Stellar just Paranoia is out, and you see both members that weren't there for Sentinels start to rotate over because they think the hit's on B. At the same time, Dre's already hightailed it the heck out of there. Moose is all the way back behind enemy lines. They have full control of each side. They're going to get that spike down, and if a Proto continues to cause problems, it's going to be devastating for Sentinels. 2 members left, Zoms in the newest addition, TENZ.
Rolling through together. They got blind and smoke for this one. Oh, he holds it. Not enough classic with cheese on that, but your boy Dre is able to come up big there. The 3 sheriffs purchased are huge. The return on investment for a Proto, he almost makes the money back he fought with the sheriff. And now Sentinels on the back foot there as their buy made them feel good enough to hold some pretty forward angles. And Luminosity took advantage of that.
And you know, one of the things we didn't highlight a ton, and this is honestly one of the reasons why I love calling Luminosity matches, is a Proto and Thief, dude, with Sheriffs, they're unreal, right? Like, you almost expect in a 1vx, given the Sheriff in hand, that they're going to pull it off.
Yeah. It's interesting because they remember when Ascent came out, it was the Sentinels. That's basically the team that ran this map, and we have to see a very different look here, a paradigm shift in how they play, pushing out. They will be aggressive, coming out with some Spectres and Classics. The Vandal firing from the top of mid here for Thief. He picks up a few. A heal coming in now as that overheal procs off, and they're going to be looking towards tiles to possibly finish this one off. TENZ patiently waiting, and you'll see the family photo waiting for him on Cat. They take a picture. Thief with the 4K, and it's just kind of the money's rolling in right now for Luminosity. We expected that round to be a quick one for Sentinels as they look to just do a little eco damage on the side of Luminosity.
Right, and that's why you saw them bunch up, push their way in through tree to try to fight for the middle of the map. Yeah, you just kind of have to full send at that point and hope for the best. But that's another player, and I think as we continue to talk about Luminosity, we're going to continue to point to these 3 players because it really seems like if these 3 players are clicking, Luminosity's filthy. And that's a Proto, who we saw in the pistol, Thief, who we just saw, and then Dre, who's just a couple of points away from the showstopper. Moose also has the Hunter's Fury at hand, so they have plenty of options in front of them. But so, as far as ultimates go, so do Sentinels. Sick going to use the run it back. Going to get some info, but really not a ton else.
Nice call on that little outhouse hit. A lot of damage going over to Dapper. Or sorry, a Proto. And now they're just going to play this one patiently. They do have the ultimates. I was surprised to not see Moose kind of fire that one off as they were coming up. TENZ now Blade Storm for himself as he plays this one strong with another one for Sentinels. And they can play this one patient. I mean, they have a few ultimates on each side. You're looking at Moose's. And you're looking at TENZ. Depending on whether those go off the spike and get down here, they have a lot of room to work with. But a Proto is going to be the first one in on the left side. They don't have drone as that was used on the other side on A. Looks like they still have quite a bit of utility to be used here, Doug. They're going to try to get in. Here it goes. Roomba's out.
Roomba's out. The dart's going to follow, and the paint shells as well. You see the Paranoia not going to connect onto anyone as Sick has been left absolutely unscathed and unchecked around this corner. Now they start to funnel in. Sick again on that lane. Looking to see if he can spot anyone. It's actually Dapper who gets the first one. Shazam from back in Bo's house looking for a little bit of action as Sick gets another one. TENZ continuing to light things up. A beautiful round, a flawless one at that from the boys over at Sentinels.
Get caught up in the crossfire. That was so good, each side. And Doug, we have to point out, they just hauled it over to B, avoiding TENZ after he opens up with a few on the round. He still has that dominance, and he still puts out the aggression from wherever he is. We'll see if he keeps being avoided. He's been in the same spot. He's not hopping. He's not switching his spot. So he's been on Cat. Can be expected to be there. And we'll see how this round plays out as we get into round 5. They are going to be going towards A. TENZ pushing up here a little bit with Zoms to start off the round as they get a little bit better position.
Have a couple of ultimates there, and that opening pick onto TENZ there is just beautiful, and Dre piles it on as well. 2 members of Sentinels already off the board. Sick kind of has to go aggressively here to try to push things back. He gets one in trade and then backs up, but with that, Luminosity have control of A.
Gonna go right for TENZ this time, playing off possibly that set precedence of aggression. Yeah, we're gonna get a peek here. Let's peek from top and bottom, even if they get the smoke out. I like the forward utility, giving Sick and the rest of the team a little bit of trouble as they try to get in for this. Shazam, gonna try to do what he can here. Maybe he saves at this point. He knows he's gonna start having a flank on him, so he may have to commit to what's in front of him for the time being. It's gonna be a quick 1-for-1 there. And Luminosity putting up some great defense here to start it off as we come up to our 6th round of the first half.
And, Riv, it looks like it might only get worse. They have 4 of 5 ultimates online. A Protoss just 1 away from the Neural Theft as well, so they're getting all of their resources available.
Yeah.
And on the other side, for Sentinels, if I'm not mistaken, they're capital B broke here. Oh, I was wrong. If this goes sideways, there's a very good chance that they will be.
Yeah. All right, see that? 1,900 credits for the side of Sentinels. That means they are on full bonus for loss. Forward dart here. Not too much mid work so far for Luminosity. They've been able to get a lot of what they want just from working A, just from working B. A few frags, rotations out of Sentinels, and then pushing the round forward. We spoke about, you just said how many ultimates are up. If they can cycle these ults, a few per round, they can consecutively get through what will be the buy rounds here for Sentinels and put them back on eco. There's a showstopper coming in. Boy, Dre looking to get a little bit deeper, fires it to the back of Boathouse, won't get the kill. Sentinels doing a beautiful job of holding off LG as they try to get into the B site.
I mean, things went absolutely sideways. That showstopper should have gotten more effect out of it, and then the control that should have come from that should have opened things up for LG considerably. But again, just narrowly going sideways, but still, they're still in a very winnable situation here. It's not easy by any means, but it's certainly doable.
Yeah, I mean, he's facing less than 100 HP, so we'll see what he can do. He's got 33 himself, so it's going to be tough. I think he actually stopped the footstep just before he needed to, but maybe the timing's there. Doesn't pull the trigger. Zoms gets a little bit of that Omen diff to set in. And Sentinels tied up, Doug. It looks like we're going to go punch for punch here on these rounds.
Oh, and that's exactly what we wanted, right? Like, that's what you look at, a tale of the tape, a battle of the gods, if you will, and this is what you expected. And I think it's been a lot of the customers that we expected to be the ones popping off, right? You see TENZ, you see Sick with kills across the board, first Sentinels, and then you've got Thief leading things considerably for Luminosity. So the right players are clicking for this to be a really good series, right?
All right, this is exactly what we wanted to see here. And another partial gun round coming out for the side of... Oh, no, Sick does have one as he just switches around to his weapons. Phantoms are going to be out. Sentinels feeling good on this. And this, for Luminosity, will be maybe half armor next round if they can't get through all the way with this. We already see Thief trying to do that as he gets both of his orbs in to be able to dismiss out. And they're just going to work this one slow again. I think LG really benefits from doing this all the time, especially when they feel like there might be more pressure than necessary. When they have hold of a team, LG will go forward. Thief, your boy Drake, going to be in your face all the time. But here, it's methodical, like you said before. They're working the spike super slow. It's going to be given to whoever needs that alt point. Maybe grab a few orbs if possible. And Sentinels are going to be putting up some great defense here. And if Luminosity can grab quite a few rounds here on attack, they know that's going to benefit them a lot.
At this point here, if you're Luminosity trying to find a way in, it is just Dapper here on the site. You see TENZ kind of playing around the middle, but the majority of Sentinel's investment is over by A, so they should have some room to work with. That's going to be the cue. The Hunter's Fury for Moose is going to be used, trying to tag up Dapper, knock him down, and that's exactly what he does. TENZ, who was close by, also very quickly getting involved. The counter, oh no. Thief got behind enemy lines. He was able to take care of TENZ, but then Sick does the same to him. Zoms with 3. There's just one member left on the side of Luminosity, and it's Moose. He's got to go fast. I don't know that he's got enough time, and then he's sandwiched in as well. The kill's going to come through. The time doesn't matter. A 4K for Zoms. Sentinels take the lead.
Zoms, whether it's the back of C on Haven or it's just there in the boathouse, he's so good at grabbing multiple kills when he has no right to be alive. He just created a 1v1 situation every time. Nobody could get the attack on him. Zoms does it again. A 4K for him. Going to be able to get everything he needs to shore up And we do see a bit of that buy-in, a little bit of light armor, as I was saying before, for Luminosity. They feel like they're okay. They're going hard with Sheriffs here and light. Let's see what they got. Thief's the only one without it, and he's hoping to get some overheal right away. Doug, they're pushing up a little bit more from the side of Sentinels. How close do they get?
Too close. Way too close. The Sentinels just stuffs them. Another flawless round. The Sheriff was not a difference maker in the hand of Luminosity this time. Beautiful by Sentinels.
I didn't think it was going to be that quick, but I feel like that's really good to see. Sentinels fans should be happy to see that they're not on the back foot at all. They're ready to play aggressive, especially on a round when you should be farming your opponents.
Yep.
And they were probably very happy to hear some Sheriffs going off on the other side in that round to go out so quickly. That still leaves them with a bit of money here on the side of the Luminosity Gaming squad. You can see that they are buying up into Sheriffs, but they're down to a few zeros and 400s, under 1,000 there. So these are really going to start to hurt the economy if Sentinels can string these rounds together.
Seeing a bit of a different, bit more aggressive look, at least taking some space away. Sentinels is from Luminosity down B lobby. You saw the drone. You saw Dapper swing out with it as well. Make sure there are no shenanigans on the other side to kind of give them some room to work with. And again, given Luminosity's defaulty type, let's feel things out. Let's see what the opposing team is giving us and then making a call. You get a good bit of info there. Sick, however, with the run it back, trying to control the middle, drops yet again.
It's a good choice. When things are this quiet, and you know you're feeling pretty good about hitting the sites, you still have a good amount of util to shut them down, you might want to just throw that run it back out there. See if you can get a frag, but also say, okay, no cat, no top mid, really. They're probably hitting a site pretty soon. And looks like the focus is going to be towards A. I like how they're keeping Dapper out to the side. Always smart to keep that flank. Whoa. Oh, super close there as the bot gets dismantled right before going off. Moose takes down TENZ to start us off here after your boy Dre goes down to 8.
Great paranoia from Zoms to buy some more time. If you're Luminosity, you kind of have to go here. You don't really have enough time to flip the map, and Sentinels gladly welcomes them with open arms. It's a bloodbath as Sentinels walk away with 4, Luminosity picked to shreds.
All right. Almost a change of pace is necessary now. If Sentinels is figuring it out too much, they have too much time to set up or just leave Dapper somewhere with the use of Cypher on defense, right? Killjoy, you got to stay within range, you got to move everything around. With Dapper being able to just say, yeah, no one's here. I've checked B main. We've gone all the way out to garage, even checked outside B. That focus on A to cover becomes so easy. So I think Luminosity needs to do a little bit more to work within that rotation time. We have a tech pause coming in, and figure out how to scramble Sentinels a little bit. They feel so comfortable on their early angles. At least get them off that. Don't wait so long.
Well, and we saw some of that, right? A couple rounds ago, down a long TENZ who had been peeking aggressively.
Right, they pushed up, hopped the wall, double peak.
Exactly. We need more of that, and then even if it isn't, even if it's not that, and they kind of want to spice things up a little bit more, give them a little bit more heat, a little more flavor. Like give me a full send, right? Like hit a hard fast exec, just push Sentinels off a bit. Yeah, absolutely.
I like it. B is going to be a tough one. May try though. 3 off of a few of these. You do have a Protoss neural uplink. TENZ switching up position just a little bit here as Blade Storm, if anything gets too hairy this round. You know he'll stay for a fight. He's good for it. Looking for a quick spam through the smoke to pick one up. Is Thief with that Sheriff has some lasers coming out today.
And he has control of A, right? Like Sick has to pull off, and they have to respect that it very well may be more than Thief. No, the shots go wide, and Sick punishes it. That, like, the jig's up. Sentinels, or excuse me, Luminosity have to reset the map here.
Happens to the best of us. It's so hard to shoot somebody whose movement is, unknown. And we see it there for Thief. He actually gets pickpocketed from a kill. 45 seconds on this. It's going to be B again. This round a little bit quicker, right? They had a bit of versatility to it. They've scrambled Sentinels a little bit more. And now it is up to Shazam. Here in a few footsteps, he's going to make that call, whether he chooses to go or not, or get help from the team. Is a big question. He gets the first one. Oh, he's feeling it. He may just want it. The shots just go. Oh my God, haircuts everywhere. He's staying alive down to almost half. That's going to be the shots coming in now. Proto gets one. Proto gets two and almost cleans it up. But Dapper, always looking clean, coming in with the flank on his Cypher is to be able to clean that up. It did get kind of close, though. I think everybody was sweating there.
A Proto freaking giving me a heart attack, man. Like, he plays on that knife's edge all the time, and that's what I was saying earlier.
That was wild.
You put him in a 1vx with the Sheriff, and it's almost like, I mean, he could, right? Like, maybe. He very well may. But Sentinels, through the very dangerous moment, walk away with plenty of money, a 4-round lead. They're going to have an op in the hands of TENZ, which we haven't seen a ton of here. It looks like he might get an early chance. So Proto pushes forward. Has to step back.
Whenever somebody who opts like TENZ or Shazam or something, I always feel like we're on a safari and you're like, there he is, now in his environment, looking to find his prey. You're just waiting for these kills to come in. We'll see what he can get out here. If the safari car goes by TENZ's location at all. 1 minute here. Everybody from the same look. This gets so scary. You do have some traps up on your flanks here, but not knowing who's coming up mid or right behind you. You got to keep looking over your shoulder. Check your 6 every so often. Will they keep... I love the way the Sentinels is playing here. Will they peek? Will they not? Luminosity always trying to find a bit with each location they get, but it's not until the site do they find that defense.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, the teammates have arrived. It's going to be a straight-up 3v3 here. Blade Storm's involved, but you got to keep an eye on Moose. If Moose can stay alive, that Hunter's Fury really could secure them the round. Thief slowly making his way forward, gets the best of TENZ. Another filthy shot as he takes Stick out as well. Shazam getting the best of him into a 1v2. Shazam historically very good in situations like this. Good for one, but a Proto extinguishes the threat. Very well played. Luminosity get to 4.
Doug, you know, with those rounds, it's only a matter of time, right? Yep. We saw a Proto do that last round, and he was just one short. Thief able to do it this round. You're consistently seeing the power that LG brings to the table just with a single player alone. Combine a few of those, and they're going to start stringing those rounds together. Sentinel's been doing a great job at getting those impact frags out early, though, to make sure Thief and a Proto aren't able to do that every single round.
It's just, I mean, knife's edge every single time.
Yeah.
Dre, 1 point away from the showstopper. See if they try to feed him that ult orb on a long. Thing is, you've got Zombs there. Great use of utility to clear out any sort of defensive shenanigans. But once again, we're seeing this run it back. Taking so much space. Sick. Get the kill, too. Gosh, that's beautiful.
He thought he could play him off hitting the wide angle, too. Looks like they're going to be hitting A-Dug.
They are. There's from the shadows getting info, and he's going to get behind them too. You've got to be careful, but I guess it doesn't really matter if Sentinels can hold it down themselves on the site. Forget the reinforcements, but Dre, with the showstopper that we talked about earlier, getting one, things fall apart for Luminosity as Sentinels walk away with 3 remaining.
Switching sides.
Oh. I felt my dinner come up. I just saw your boy Dre disintegrate TENZ. That was brutal. Oh my word, that's just showing. You always gotta love a showstopper that hits right on target. Good defense as they got into the site throughout the rounds as we see this replay. That's when you were speaking on, we were talking LG getting aggressive. They were finding a few more rounds because they were playing off a bit of predictability. We saw TENZ on Cat a lot. Well, let's push up fast, maybe he'll be here. And then these rounds, the one before that from a Proto, and that one right there from Thief is the reason we're at an 8-4, which gives them a bit of padding if Pistol does not go their way. But Luminosity need to pick it up here.
They do indeed on the defensive side here. No early aggression, no fully sending either which way, which would honestly be a bit uncharacteristic of Luminosity at this point. But Sentinels, they've already sent a couple of Cat. Dapper has taken the middle of the map. Looks like they're going to want to go towards A here, Riv. Oh boy.
Close play by Dre for hearing so many footsteps. Kind of puts himself right there in the frying pan. Moose, though, makes up for it with a twofer. And TENZ is going to answer back. A nice overheal from Thief. He's going to be loving that as he waits for the rest of the team. You have the Cypher Cam to come in if that's on cooldown. And maybe a Paranoia to be used here. No, actually, just another smoke to come out. That Dark Shroud on top. Paranoia did get thrown out as soon as I looked down to see his util. And now they're in here for the defuse. Just wide right, looking to the left, doesn't have enough. And it's going to be Stellar that comes through. A little classic with cheese onto Shazam there. And what a round from Luminosity. They take it slow for a moment and able to get just quick the instant defense once they got back in.
Yeah, and you even mentioned early on Dre playing that tight, but it was once again Luminosity and their pistols, man.
Yep.
You can't count them out. Moose opens up with 2 big ones. Thief gets a couple as well.
Boom.
And then at that point, great wherewithal by Luminosity to understand that the best way to avoid some shenanigans from like stopping a defuse through a smoke or anything like that is you kind of have to run at them.
Yep.
Exactly what Stellar does, gets the kill, and wins them the round.
I like it. Keep Sentinels on the back foot. Let them know you're serious. That was destroyed. So they know there's at least one. But with how far back they have pushed, they don't want to peek that without any more util. Here's the Owl drone out. And that's going to spot a few here in tiles. Hello.
I think Drain a great spot too here as he's taking up some authority through tree, but the middle of the map is not open for the taking for Sentinels. Luminosity push through. They drop a couple. The spike is down there as well. A brutal spot for Sentinels.
Oh, what a pinch here. They're just, they don't know which way to look right now. Luminosity knows they have the upper hand. With only a few shots in each one of those revolvers, they can instantly move the cavalry forward to take that round 8-6 as we're moving into round 15 here. Those were the ones you expect if you grab pistol, and Sentinels did kind of hold back on what they were getting, just some sheriff. So Phantoms in hand. Util looks good across the board, right? Only no wall for Phoenix, just that Molly. And Dapper, I believe, has already set his down. Yeah, I was going to say he doesn't have anything, but no, he's good to go.
Yeah, and I think for Luminosity here, you want to try to pad this bonus as much as you can, right? If you can steal this round away, and all of a sudden you get to 8-7, Sentinels is in a brutal financial spot, and all of a sudden you're talking about 8-8, the map changes, right? For the 8-4 half that Sentinels had early on, where Luminosity oftentimes looked lost, this could easily go the other way, but I love this positioning from Thief. Utility to push Sentinels back, let Thief get into a cheeky spot and potentially blow things up. Good for one, great trade from TENZ.
They get the Bulldog out. Not going to need that. And no ultimates really on deck either, so everything's about utility and who can make the shots. Smoke and dash in as they try to create space in A. TENZ makes that happen as Dre goes down. Zoms just on the other side playing cat and mouse there with Stellar. Nobody's going to peek the smoke right away. Spike's going to go down in A. Another retake here coming in from LG. Now this one tested with full-on rifles for both teams. And most of it's coming from tree here. Let's see how they take it.
And Riv, I want to draw attention to this because this is where Luminosity really had their glow up. Right at the beginning of the year, it was in their ability to retake specifically against Sentinels. But now that TENZ is in the fold, I don't know that you're going to be nearly as effective as you were before. The ace is stolen, but it doesn't matter. Sentinels hold fast.
He's like, no, can't let the new guy get an ace just yet. That's not how it works. TENZ on it. Maybe, you know, honestly, that is just good return because that's another, I'll point out, TENZ has Blade Storm, so why give him another one? So just playing it smart over funny. And yeah, you're right. That the retake for LG is powerful, but that was a different composition that they were facing when they were able to get those consecutive rounds. And Sentinels do stop the bleeding here on their first gun round. Let's see how bad they put Stellar and the rest of the Luminosity squad back as they are on another rifle round. It's going to be some util going out on both sides to see how they pull some of this out. And Sentinels is down for dropping the spike as well, we've seen on the beginning of these rounds.
Interesting. Once again, Luminosity playing primarily off-site, being willing to at least, without them knowing, give up a lot of the middle of the map. But now things have been given away. TENZ is tagged up. He understands that a camera's there. They have a really good idea of where the hit's going to be, given where the middle of the map was. The paranoia is going to come out onto the site as it looks like they're all drawing their attention over towards B. You've got the Reyna playing the middle of the map just to be safe, but Stellar's left unchecked. He shoots a couple right in the back of the head. TENZ dashing around, not going to matter. Moose gets him. Dre gets onto it as well as he's looking to take the last member of Sentinels off the site. It's Shazam in a 1v3. Well, that a 1v2, no longer going to be around. Thief takes care of them. Luminosity get to 7.
You know, I don't think there was any doubt that once Sentinels got on attack, is going to be a little bit easier. And I think Valorant lends itself to that with having the agents, right? You have somebody come in, you know what that agent's going to do. You know what TENZ is going to do on Jet. And as long as the team is there, right, you play around that in the instance. It's not like he's just hiding or flying into A by himself. So I feel like Sentinels might get a groove here that makes it real tough for Luminosity to come back. We'll see here coming into this next one. That was a quick round coming in. Curveball and everyone pushing forward could signal another quick one, as we have a few phantoms here for the side of Sentinels on that on the attack side, and they're going to go in with the Blade Storm as well.
Yep, the paranoia from Stellar was there as well, and a couple of shots from the Bulldogs secure the kill onto TENZ. Blade Storm no longer in effect, but Sentinels have control of the site. Zom should be able to get the spike down. Members of Luminosity have now started to arrive. This is, again, the spot where they shine in retakes, in a disadvantageous situation as far as personnel goes. What can they do?
Kind of util will help them get in. They just have there's so many more angles to check when you don't have the numbers here, but they're gonna try, even with that Empress on. Zoms finds two again. Try it and true coming out of him if anybody's trying to get to his location, and Sick locks the last one down as Dre falls. And the run away with rounds begins here for Sentinels. Feeling good on attack. This is one of the reasons they called them as Sentinels in the beginning. It just seems like they can find a way around their opponents. And it's almost like nobody goes down before they're even in the site. And you're like, oh, wait, that's happening already? They just seem to they have that on every opponent they play.
Also worth noting, of all the members of Sentinels, TENZ is ironically the only one rocking the clan tag on the front of his name. Look at that early aggression. Oh, look at the aggression. They shut up the middle of the map. They go all the way down B-long as well, and Sentinels are just sitting there like ducks. No room to breathe, nowhere to go, and they've already dropped two.
Right to mid. Are they going to... No, he's not going to take it. A little undecided now that they lost so many. You see Sick walking around mid with a bunch of his teammates' bodies there. He's just trying to skirt around him. 1 HP for Thief. That would have been a unicorn play, honestly, if he takes down TENZ with that quick headshot. Sick's able to grab himself a Phantom as well. They regroup. They have a very, very good chance on taking this round, the 3v3 here. And I think you leave a Proto by himself here. 1 mid, 1 B. Play for the regroup. And that's all it is. 1-1-1 if you ever have the possibility to do it. As long as the other team's not pushing through, you're good to go. A lot of util here to be used by Sentinels, and B is the word.
Interesting that they chose, knowing that they only had pistols, to invest that. Oh, okay, Moose good for one. Sick trades him out. Now dropping down to a 2v2. Folks, remember this is a pistol for Luminosity. They invest the showstopper early on. They show some heavy aggression, and they get to a point where this is certainly winnable. The one difficult thing to swallow here is no Hunter's Fury online for Luminosity.
Once they check that left side for main, I think they're good to go. They watch each other's back for a moment. Smoke's nice and deep in there, so they don't have too much area to work once they come out of it. They know somewhere on the right. Smoke's another one. Have to get at least a tap down to pull them out of their position, but they're still trying to play the fight a little too long. And you got the molly to work with anyways. It's really not going to matter. They knew they had to get the kills, so that was the option to go for. 11-7 here. Sentinels again find their way into the site. Strangle out Luminosity. But we'll have to see what happens here on the next gun round. A few ultimates up here as well. Stellar's ult as well as that Hunter's Fury, as you were saying, now back online. And maybe they can do some preventative work. Maybe they wait for that plant to go down. We'll see how they use it.
Oh, I mean, we saw just in this last round, granted it was their pistol, but we saw that they're willing, right, to cook up a little spice, to make something flashy happen. Now that they have a couple of these ultimates online, how are they going to choose to play this out? You see Moose kind of waiting back, knowing he has a Hunter's Fury, knowing he can reach far areas of the map if he plays around the middle, really just kind of keeping that as an option, keeping that in his back pocket. I imagine you get some info, and Moose has shown that he has no problem using a Hunter's Fury either entirely dry or just off of the slightest bit of info.
Yeah, you can do it here, right? There's no Killjoy. You don't have to worry about a lockdown. Maybe you have to worry about another Hunter's Fury, but you know that's not up. And we see Sentinels working here once again towards A slowly. And it's got to be said, TENZ 19 and 15 top fragging. There's another 19 behind him as well on the scoreboard with almost 20 here in his first game with Sentinels. It doesn't matter, I think, who he is, where he is, or I should say what agent he's on or where he is, not who he is. He's always TENZ. In that sense, that's amazing to see. That says a lot about who he is, how he plays, and what situations he can play in. All
right, here we go. Sick using the run it back. And it looks like, yeah, it's a fake. Riv, it's a bloody fake. They used to run it back. They used it from the shadows as well to think that the hit's going on A, and they're biting onto the bait. You see him start to pull off. B is entirely open. Sentinels have gotten on there for free, and they've been able to take aggressive positioning to stop the rotations, to stop the cutoffs. The one problem is that 6 on the other side of the map. He's going to have to get on his high horse, scurry over to make it to get a chance to have an impact on the play. The spike is down. SHAZAM waiting just on the other side. He's got great information if he can just be patient. No, but Moose gives him the business.
Oh my
Dapper
God.
drops as well, and now it's Sick, who was late to the show in a 1v3. It's a winnable one. He's good for one, but Dre stops it. He's going to get the defuse as well. Sentinel showed something spicy, and Luminosity hold it off just fine.
I love explosions.
That... I actually thought that Moose used his ult a little too early, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Caused beautiful, beautiful displacement in the site. The rest of the LG roster was able to run in here, and really that wasn't even a util retake. They were finding everything off of aim, off of trades, and confidence of making their way into the spike site. This is the time you have to make a run for that tie, for whatever. I mean, for the game you have a chance for now.
Yep.
And we'll see if LG plays it a bit different. Hearing some running over here at A, LG, your boy Dre is going to make sure that he's right with a Roomba out there. So they have a little bit of intel to start, but it's still going to be that default split for Sentinels.
No early aggression towards B. Very unlikely that we see this neural theft anytime soon in the hands of a Proto, as Sentinels have really invested all of their attention towards A. They have cat control as well. The one thing is, you see, there's certainly the possibility... Okay, they're fully committing here. The spike is in hand, going up A long, but you have 2 members of Luminosity. They're hanging in tree, but if their attention's elsewhere, they're going to get caught. Looking around, Zom's good for one already.
He's watching that tree area, has a nice flank. The team's made it fully into the site. Flame walls up, and they can just hang out now and allow this to tick down. So it's now for LG to regroup. Here comes Dart going in. Nice. One underneath. They're able to find TENZ. That's kind of a mistake there that he misses it coming in. What will happen is LG comes through. Where are they stronger? Sick and SHAZAM able to trade 2, and it's not going to be enough so far from LG. A Proto and Stellar doing their best as they are the last 2.
They weren't the last 2. Well, I guess they were ultimately the last 2. They just weren't around for very long as Sentinels gets to match point. Luminosity again in a position where they could have retaken the site. They had the pieces there, but excellent use of utility from Sentinels, and their shots were crispy clean, as you have grown to expect from this squad. I mean, Riv, a really good performance across the board here for Sentinels.
It is. Look at that. All the way, you got a triple-double there on SHAZAM. Looking pretty nice. You always love to see that. And the rest of the team, like I said, I was kind of going to go one way or the other. It's like the holiday phase where everybody feels good. You know, you got TENZ on the team. He's going to be able to hold his own. You don't have to worry or put a leash on this guy to say, hey, wait. Okay, no, that call was wrong. He's playing as a Jet should. And I kind of referenced that earlier. You know what a Jet needs to do. And TENZ is maybe one of the best out there. So, yeah. Let him roll on that spot. And you're right. Everybody's playing well across the board with that confidence coming into the team, even with the swap before Masters here. Spike's planted. Dapper toying here. Cypher diff, toying.
Oh, no, bro.
He did it to him. He did it to him. That's all right. Now they're in A. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, 2 members left for Luminosity to try to keep the map alive, and so far, Dre and Moose get a couple. Dre gets another one. A 1v2, Moose left alone. He's got a Sheriff. Surely he doesn't stick. The defuse gets it to half. He's got a chance here, playing a little ring around the Rosie, and it's not going to happen. Dapper wins the gunfight for Sentinels. Sentinels take a Sent, tripped over the cord. He kicked it unplugged. Everything kind of blew up. It's a total mess. But good news. We've got it figured out. The players were not affected, and we're just on the other side of getting you back into the action. Doug, my dear friend, the Silver Fox Bridgington, Bruce Bislin III on the mic. Baby, we got to get back into this as soon as we can.
I'm excited. It started getting a little spicy towards Sentinels being aggressive in their takes. We had a little bit more mid getting worked here. We just saw that it's going to be Stellar changing that ice wall over to mid from throwing it at B. Now he's back at B for the side of Luminosity's defense. We're back on split here. This is LG's pick, and we'll see how they continue to keep it going.
Well, and like, you know, you look at the other round as we're looking at some of the replays of
I'm sorry,
action.
this is Sentinel's pick, as I mistake that. Thank you.
Yeah. We saw the conversation was, will Shazam play Jet? We saw him with the op in the last round be devastating, and he has a Blade Storm this time around. Let's see if he chooses to trigger it.
I gotta stop writing my bans and picks like this. I always read the wrong one. It's plaguing me. Push to it. No kills. I don't know how that didn't go through yet. Thief with the fucking on the backside. They're not looking though, and he almost picks another pocket. That's going to be TENZ getting himself in with the rest of the team. Dapper and the squad is now feeling pretty good about the situation as they back up. They feel like they may have them on a scramble, and Stellar is right there to tell them, nah, we are not on the back foot. It is a 3v3, and they're prepared to keep defending.
Riv, that pinch was nasty. The paranoia comes out from Dre across ramps. Thief comes in with the backside with the buck. He blows him up. That was absolutely beautiful. But now, as you mentioned, we're down to this 3v3. Stellar, certainly worse for wear. Only has 9 armor and 80 health to work with. The spike is going to go down. You see Sentinel start to assume some post plants. Really good positioning here from Zoms. And the thing is here for Luminosity, they're going to have to deal... Yeah, that... Zoms can be a serious problem here. He's already put out the paranoia. Great wall there as well. Very few options for entry here if you're Luminosity. They're going to have to go. The discipline box has to be checked. It does get checked, but not before one drop. Sick comes up with 2. Sentinels get to 4.
I like it. Sick creating a few angles with that wall, making sure that they'll be able to get what they need on a 3v3 defense with Luminosity knocking at the door. Sentinels feeling nice here as they're on the attack. Shazam up top, 7-4. Dropping it on the Jet this time. 10 still right behind a 4-4 as the rest of the team's feeling good as they frag out.
And then Riv Sick again, right? This time on the Sage, but at 5-1, he's feeling good as well. So we're seeing a lot of the same performance regardless of the agent that he's on. It seems like the results are the same.
All right, nades through, nades over. They're trying to play off. Maybe Luminosity's getting early info, and they go straight brazen for the ult point. A third trade. This is going to come in with the classic. Yes, TENZ finds it. He knows exactly how much damage he did, how much he peppered Stellar, and throws a few more 9mm his way. There it is with the peek around. Your boy Dre getting lucky with that. Bucky with the quick slug shot. Shazam makes quick work of that trade. In a round that easily should be going to Sentinels. They've lost 2. Let's see if Thief can do a little more eco damage here before he gets taken down, if that happens.
And you know, for Thief, you could or just take it offline like that, right? That obviously helps. Shazam takes care of them. Thief drops. Sentinels are going to win the round. But one thing I was going to say was there, if you can draw at least one of those ultimates out, that's even like that's compounding win, right? Because you're breaking their economy and you're removing a pivotal tool that could be brought into the next round.
See it right here. Just easy cleanup, easy patience, communication, and they're not sweating any of these rounds at all. This one might be a little bit different. Talking about those ults 5 ready on that side. This is where it can be a big impact. You always got to look at round 5, 6, 7. Even 8. Oh, no, a little short on that, thinking he may be caught close. Moose gets out of this one. I thought that was going to be much more dead to rights than it was, but he's going to be walking or limping around. Maybe, hopefully, he's finding Stellar to get that HP back up. And with the spike down, again, Sentinels feel decent about this start. They know they can get into the site with confidence that they might be able to find a pretty weak Moose. He has gone over to Stellar to get healed now, and they reset for the A-hit, Doug. Nice push up by Shazam, too.
Yeah, and Dapper gets the kill on the Thief. That's going to give him ramps control. You see the smokes coming out. They want to play towards A, and it's actually Stellar who's kind of left alone here. He's got to go big. Good for one.
Everybody's on the ramp. Why? Somebody come into sight with me, he's saying. A little bit of miscomm there. I think they were okay with what they were taking. Luminosity has been giving them a lot of ground, so not a problem that they did that, but I feel like a few more should have went into sight as the spike stayed ramp. And maybe around the world strat was a thing they had in mind the whole time.
Yeah, and TENZ, if TENZ can continue to draw attention over by A, maybe pull some of the members back, but at this point, there are no secrets. The veil has been lifted. They know they're going to be Gray. Good for one. He's going to drop at the hands of Shazam, but the spike goes down as well. 13 seconds left on the clock. They should be able to get the spike down with relative ease, and now they're going to assume their post plants. Again, keep an eye on TENZ on the other side of the map. He has a showstopper. He can really blow this thing up, and the wall's there to... Oh, that's big. Moose is back online. TENZ gets one.
Goes for the pre-fire. Knows there's going to be a few there on the other side. Hits the first shot, expecting a second. Up over the shoulder is going to be the paint shells, but it's not enough to get the kill on Stellar, rather. And he's forced to save. Yeah, there's a heal there, but it's not going to be enough time. They also need to recoup a few of these rounds. And you mentioned TENZ being off on the side, Doug. That happened as everybody on Sentinels was taking sight. And there was no movement from TENZ. They were still ready to play across the map. The confidence in just these squads they're running right now to make things happen is allowing them to pick Luminosity apart. He still had the flank. He still caused a bunch of trouble in the end. And that's what Sentinels is leaving themselves open to in the end, is having those options.
Yep. Absolutely. And, you know, you see oftentimes plays like that, they go sideways, right? Like if the hit on the actual hit doesn't work out, you've got one, maybe two members on the other side of the map who can't show up to help in time, and you lose control, and you're in a 1vx, and, you know, everything just kind of goes kaput. But their Sentinels play that so well. TENZ continues to cause problems. He continues to draw attention. Jet, Raze, it doesn't matter. The TENZ effect is still online.
It's pretty wild that he has that kind of presence, that aura, every time that he plays. Shazam here with the Blade Storm. LG now trying to be the first one to get that aggression in mid. What Sentinels love so much. At least get to the top of the stairs and start reading the map. LG tries to put their foot forward here. Loses 3 immediately on the round for just a Zombs Nation. Feels like a lot more. See what happens here as they continue to play slowly. And nobody else today has pushed up. It's all going to be the work of a Proto now. I mean, they're coming to him. Does he have what it takes?
I think here we saw this on Ascent, right, where Luminosity and a pistol dial up something special.
Yep.
And it just hasn't... It's been close, right? Again, they've played on Knife's Edge. They've been just on the precipice of doing something absolutely insane, but it just hasn't panned out for Luminosity here. We see first map go Sentinel's way. This second map, excuse me. Certainly seeming to follow suit as Sentinels take a 6-round lead. Luminosity once again kind of left looking for answers here.
And I think this is that one side of the coin. I said there's really no middle ground coming into this matchup for Luminosity versus Sentinels. They're feeling a bit of a honeymoon phase here, and they know they don't have to rein in TENZ at all. Let him do what he wants to do. No second-guessing corners for everyone on site takes or retakes, and it's just a really great flow when you're feeling that on the team. Comms are clean, and so are the shots right now. Shazam and TENZ still topping the board here for the side of Sentinels as they go for this pre-nade on B each time. Just showing themselves everywhere for a bit of default. They might work this one a little bit faster. They haven't dropped the spike just yet. That will give you a bit to pause for each round. And here again, they walk up towards mid, grab that info, cut off any quick rotations that would come from vent to mailroom. And now they control a little bit more of the map with still having Dapper on that A side.
But they've also pushed all the way at B lobby, so they know you can't go into heaven. You know you've gotten in through B. They've taken all that space away, and Sentinels aren't ready for it. Zombs already drops. Luminosity, for the first time really the entire map, Riv, have taken aggressive control of a spot where Sentinels wasn't expecting it.
So good. seeing the push on Sentinels. When you're down 7-1, plays like that need to be made. You can't sit back. You can't just say, we'll play the longer corner or the off angle and hope they come to us. Good moves by Luminosity to start making Sentinels play a little sweaty on this one. Changing up the strat. It seems like the audible goes towards A through vents here. That's known. The pinch from both sides, and LG has read this like a book here coming into round 9. That's theirs, and it's a flawless round.
Exactly what the doctor ordered, Riv. And even like, so after they play the beginning of the map so well, you see Sick and Sentinels, they still manage to get their way into B Heaven, and they throw the wall up to block off anyone coming in from the defender spawn.
Yep.
Suggesting that that's where the play's going to go, that they want to funnel in through Heaven, they want to get onto B, and they want to make a play happen there. But even with that, as soon as that wall goes up, they send everything through mid towards A, and I mean, numbers-wise, Luminosity looked like they were at a disadvantage, but there's the filthy, crispy shots that we've grown to expect from Luminosity that just stuff the push.
I think they push up here with the operator towards B main on the side of Sentinels. A quick hold by Shazam there on that. Maybe grab the alt orb in the end. He has Blade Storm if he needs it. Dapper is on deck for that neural uplink. And they may just want to get this over to the hands of TENZ. He's on the other side of the map. He's 2 away from ulti, so they're not going to be trying to work that too much. B could be the ender here. 6 ready with the wall. The rest of the team starting to rotate over, and it looks like Dapper is going to be your floater in mid to make sure nobody gets across safely, if that is the rotation of Luminosity.
I had a friend refer to it as the sniffer.
Oh.
Someone who's sniffing out the flanks. I still don't know if I love it. I'm admittedly undecided on sniffer.
Yeah. A lot of bad smells out there.
Zom's using From the Shadows to get behind enemy lines, but Luminosity once again handle it just fine. A Proto shot seems to have come online, and it could not have come at a better moment. Sentinels down to 2 members left. That wall's going to go up. Proto rips another one down from the skies as Ray and the rest of Luminosity get a flawless round back-to-back, Riv.
That's it, the back-to-back. And the way that happened there is showing so much confidence for Luminosity, for a Cypher and an Omen to be the ones ready to retake a site without the rest of the team there, which would have been your Raze and your Reyna, a really good Lear, your good retake for Roomba and Nade. So that's some confidence right there. Sometimes you can say it's a little boneheaded, but they made it work because they are absolutely feeling it. Being able to retake the site with 2 shows Luminosity is definitely not out of this one yet. We're coming into round 11 here. 2 more in our first half. Let's see if Luminosity can pick up these last 2.
Yeah, you're starting to see some of the financial impact of what Luminosity's been able to do. Shazam using the Blade Storm, and he has a Bucky in his back pocket, which is always fun, in the hands of a Jet. But you're seeing, again, some of that impact. No rifles. TENZ just 1 point away from the showstopper, but it looks like they aren't even going to play around that. The spike is down, but they've taken this area of the map for now.
Yeah, the blind and dash up top. Oh, wow. Dude. Proto with a 1-tap. You have to watch out for this guy all the time. Oh, gross. Again, not watching out for this guy. A Proto comes up with another one. Dapper's going to try to do the same. Cypher Diff's coming up big here, but he gets dropped by moves from a quick clothesline coming out of B stairs. And what do they do to rectify this situation? This could still be jumped over. They're going to try and get him back in the game. Nice wall to block off that possible takedown on the res. But this one has started off quick, and Luminosity's aim is coming online.
Proto's just been clicking, man, and this is what we've wanted. This is what we've been waiting for this entire series. They're at a numbers advantage here. The thing is, as Sick and Zoms, they're healthy, right? They're well, not healthy anymore. Sick drops. Zoms trades out a Proto, though. 2v3, but Moose good for 3, not able to get the 4th. Zoms taps on the plant. He's only got 8 seconds. There's not really a lot of time for mind games. You kind of have to commit to it here. See Luminosity pushing in from a couple of different angles. Zoms, Telly's out for the post plants, and Dre's crispy clean shots secure the round for Luminosity. Again, I believe, Riv, what's that, 3 in a row?
Yeah, they're stringing them together now. They're going to start putting Sentinels in a bit of a hurt position here for the last round. They obviously have to force out, but we'll see if they are on that light armor. These shots from a Proto, just... Oh, one more? Thanks. Some of those feel good, though, especially if you're a Cypher that plays B a lot. sometimes that angle feels comfortable and you set yourself up for it all the time. The drop down into hell seemed to wiggle around a bit more, lost that firefight as it could have happened. So you're really, really looking comfortable in B, and we'll see if Sentinels decides to try that one more time here. Last round of our first half, map 2, as Sentinels did take map 1.
Operator in the hands of Thieves, 2 SMGs in the hands of TENZ and Dapper. So as we mentioned, the financial implications of what Luminosity's been able to do the last couple of rounds really coming online. Now if you're Sentinels, I mean, given the filthy business that a Proto's given you the last couple of rounds, there's no way you sniff towards B anymore.
Not a whole lot of A love this map from Sentinels. They're going to work mid if they are going there. Here is one of the second full A through ramps. And Thief's going to say, hey, hello, I have an arsenal over here as he quickly switches. So they may think there's already 2 back screens, but he's going to be the one double gunning as the trade kill comes in and the A hit has been secured.
Neural theft online.
Spike's
Proto's
on ramp,
still
though.
waiting out over on B. Spike has been picked up. It's going to work its way onto the site. But again, Thief, members of Luminosity, starting to gather on the defensive side. Keep a close eye on Dapper here. Look at the lurk. Man, he's going for the scenic route. It's a long con as he's going to try to get all the way behind after getting through B, but you've got to wonder if by the time he makes it onto the play, if it's going to be over. Luminosity taking different angles. The Proto drops first, but the delay is there. The paranoia is going to come out. That should be the green light. That should be the sign to go. Thief, the first one in. Sick handles him just fine. Stellar drops as well. Dapper showed up, and he got the last kill. The long con pays off just fine. Sentinels, they were bleeding. They stop it to get to 8-4 at half.
You gotta love those plays. You're like, I can't run, but I'm coming. I'm just wait.
Just wait.
Everything in sight seemed to be locked down. Not a problem there. We see these few rounds. TENZ with a 3K here. Ba-da-bop. Classic with cheese. Thank you very much. Picks up another one. And the rest of the round really seemed to turn around. LG started taking a bit more ground. We saw the pushes from B, taking Zoms off at one point. A little more control over mid. Almost as soon as you mentioned it here, Proto with some beautiful shots. Sick switched it up. I'm sorry, not Sick. Stellar switched it up. Went from the B position of walling off garage to mid, and it seemed to level things out a little bit. Now, let's see what they can do on attack, Doug.
Lot of noise, B. Whole lot of noise, and some utility used as well. Well, Satchel there to try to clear out any sort of an aggressive utility. But meanwhile, the play is actually onto A, and you see them bite. Look at the middle of the map. Look at B Heaven. They're committed here. They're totally biting on what's happening. It's just sick over on A.
A few nades, a good wall there that they threw out. And now they're going to leave. So this, without too much of a hit happening over at A, and the fact that they did get walled and the wall was broken, then they know it's a default now. Sentinels can play this with much more knowledge. And they just have to worry about losing the ground they did in mid during the rotation. You can already see here, Moose moving up first. Races are going to meet. TENZ on the other side, and he's going to meet a lot of friends on this one. Family photo coming across. Thief picks that one up the frenzy, and they're going to gain a bit of ground in B Heaven.
Got so much information with that Roomba. Shazam dashing away, preserving his life. As members of Sentinels make their way through the defender spawn. Great paranoia to come through. Keep an eye on the fact that they have pressure from multiple sides. They can really pinch in members of Luminosity, but it seems like Luminosity, they're able to fight back just fine. Drops things down to a 2v2. Thieves Frenzy gives Shazam the fits, and it's all up to Zoms.
I feel like he has a
1v2 here.
scope on that thing.
He's got a classic. He's got time. What he doesn't have is friends. Alone here, trying to work his way around the map. That should give a decent idea of where Zoms is going to be coming from. Drops down as the clock continues to tick away. Spots one player, Thief with the frenzy yet again. A 3K for him. The pistols are so good for Luminosity.
They really, really are. A slight chance there, too, for Zoms to get that calibration on his shot as Thief brought the recoil back down. And that looks good. The next few rounds, if Luminosity can get these, they put Sentinels in a tight spot here. How good is their attack going to be? We saw Luminosity on Ascent slowing down a bit too much for their default, and Sentinels started to pick it apart. TENZ will love to wait all round to find the fight with you if you're not just going to dive into his face. So maybe throwing him off again. that early angle, disrupt it, and replay the strat, even if it's the same one. Spike's down here, so again, we see that wait and how quick they play it is going to be what will follow for the rest of these rounds.
Interesting. So Luminosity knew that the cam was there in the last round, the exact same spot, and they used the satchel to clear it. This time, Raze is not there. It doesn't get cleared out. There's so much info gathered there, Riv. He just has to look, as he does right there, tags up Stellar, understands that that's not where the play is.
Yeah. A little bits of info, and you can kind of see confidence in their movement, too. Were they backpedaling? Had they turned away when you saw them? And now the spike's getting picked up. Good positioning so far. I think Sentinels knows what they have lost here in terms of ground, though. You can see them already looking towards Vent, saying, hey, mid wasn't covered for a bit. We need to back up. And they are really looking to do eco damage this round. They didn't run forward. We saw Sentinels do that on Ascent, second half on the round that they lost. This time, they're playing it patient, and they want to deny LG guns for next round.
It's interesting to see them all really hunkered down on site proper, not playing off for a retake. They're up close and personal. Shazam with the classic showing exactly why he wants to do that. Dapper was good for one as well. Ray dancing around the screen. Stellar's the one who gets that last shot, and it's TENZ left alone. He's got some utility, but that's all he has. He drops. Round in favor of Luminosity, as you would expect, and now you're going to see Luminosity on a bonus. Sentinels should have full rifles across the board.
I love things like that. And that plays to what I said before on Ascent as well, is Sentinels are such a retake team, and it's funny to see what they come up with when they're doing that. There it was just, you know, hide and wait. Usually, sometimes it's the full 5 retake. That time it was in the sight, set a trap, and it almost worked. Almost worked if they didn't get swarmed that hard, and LG was on each other's hip. All right, we're going into our, what do we got here? 15th round? Let's see how they can play this.
Different spot for the camera, and it doesn't look like they're checking it out. Paranoia comes out, Blast Pack comes to do, they're going in hot and heavy, and you see this oftentimes on a bonus rift. Knowing that they have SMGs up against rifles, they want to bridge the gap so that the advantage from the rifle is no longer part of the fold, and that's why you see that play out. Look at all of the space they've taken away too. They're deep into the defender's spawn, but TENZ holds it off. He pushes his way through. Nobody puts TENZ in a corner.
Not at all. Also, don't line up when you're on TENZ. Almost looking like a collat there as he picks up 2. The entirety of the team, 4 strong coming out of defender spawn. And it's going to be tough. Stellar doing a good job of putting up some D. There's another one. We're almost seeing the collats everywhere this round. And Sick and TENZ lock it up as the defuse is already going down by Shazam. Quick fingers on that one. 9-6. As Sentinels feeling real good to put a shutdown to Luminosity's start.
They do, and you know, for Luminosity there, Sentinels lost 2, so there was some financial damage that was done, and they got the spike down. So I mean, given the fact that it was a bonus, sure, you lost the round, but you walk away feeling pretty good, right? Knowing the momentum you were able to build at the end of the last half, how you've carried some of that into this next one. I think Luminosity are still, I don't know that they're going away quite yet, Riv.
Cover going out.
Looks like TENZ maybe focusing the orb here, running out of Ramen, seeing what he's trying to do. They do have ultimate for him coming in 1, but the team's going to stay all towards Ramen right now with Dapper. Looking over towards that other side. Oh, sorry, not Dapper. That's a Proto, as I don't switch my half brain. And they're just waiting again. Slow by LG here. Spike's going to be in the hands of Stellar. Already an ult there if they need to get a Sage Res throughout this round. And free ground and info gathered here towards Mailroom. Let's see how the execute goes with a Cypher Trap right in front they'll have to worry about.
You see a Proto still playing over by A. Waiting to see if anyone's going to push through. It's not like he's causing very much noise. So it's not enough to draw attention that way. Just making sure there's nothing on the other side. Roomba, nades, traded, damage done, but nobody drops. And I think here, understanding they have the middle of the map, or at least they think they do. Yeah! Oh my gosh, Stellar! That was pretty.
I think they were hoping to get that kill there. We actually saw that Proto was starting to rotate out. He's going back to his position at ramp now. Might be able to catch Raze. TENZ actually gets into sight. Showstopper's out. Fires it high, and he's going to get the high ground on that one. Coming out Dapper a little too quick in the sight, thinking it's clear. A Proto coming up huge as he takes paint shells during the fight. And it's 92 HP sick. A little bit of armor there as it's just falling off his body.
10 seconds left.
And there's a lot of low HP on this side. Does he get the shot? He does get the trade, but the round goes in favor of Luminosity Gaming with that final frag coming in from Moose. 9-7 as we about to have a tie game here as we're almost round for round.
We are, and I think we're seeing a very different look from Luminosity on the attacking side. And here's what I mean. On Ascent, we saw them play defaulty and very slow. Right, like it was defaulty and they'd stay back. They really weren't taking space. But look, even in their defaults here, they're still taking the middle of the map. They're at least moving forward while they feel out the map, and that just opens up so many more options for you if you're Luminosity.
Shazam orb grabbing on a Blade Storm for him. So they switch up the focus there, making sure they have more options to take this round down. We've seen a lot of walls going up by LG just to be a fake, just to get out the Raze nades, just to get out a bit of utility. This time they start to commit 3.
Oh, but
waiting for a peek. Dapper's not going to give it to him this time. Dapper got smoked the last time he tried to peek out, and they played him on a paranoia. He is not wanting that. Also, he's ready for them to come around the corner with a Bucky there. So a bit of a paradigm shift in his thought of process and how he's playing it here. And Stellar's just going to be creeping in. Battle Sage entry. Why not?
And you know, it's hard to state really the impact, how devastating. Stellar's getting out, bro. Get me the heck out of here. And it was that, and it was the Raze nade from TENZ, right? He got a kill with it, and that stopped. It was a delayed fake push, right? Like, kind of feeling it out, but that stuffed it. Now Luminosity has to think twice about it. Dapper still with
Shazam on the flank.
Playing around the smoke, and as you said, Shazam on that flank. He's made it,
left.
folks. Knock, knock. Doors
He's
open.
the round.
He's arrived to the play. He's got the Blade Storm. Good for one. Nice shot from Thief to stop it. Proto and Dre. No way.
The patience LG has once they're in there is, you know, the rotation comes in. If you would have planted, you would have kind of been set up with your positions, but they're still floating around the site, having variety of positions and working around the chaos. That Bucky coming up huge for Dapper. He had waited in the site so long for that opportunity, and it paid off in the end as soon as they waited for Shazam's flank. We'll have to see if a Proto and the team get a bit more on their rear on that 6 for finding out what happens during the middle of the round, because I'm sure Shazam and the rest of the team, if the rounds go that long again, they'll still be pushing.
This Luminosity this round feels like the Luminosity that we saw on Ascent on attack, right? Like wait, default, show a little, but not take space, not really do much else as they stack over towards A. You see TENZ at top of the ramp. Once a little bit of Q comes out, got some room to use utility. But forget utility. Moose is going, oh no! Oh no, that sucks! Shazam rips him down from the sky. Doesn't even get a chance to shoot off the showstopper. That gets stuffed instantly. TENZ is still alive on top of the ramps. He has to back up. Thief takes care of him. It's a 4v4.
What a way to start the round. They've only gone A a few times. This is now finally working out for them as they were able to get Chance, Shazam able to get TENZ. The pressure they created here was great. Moose just kind of throwing himself into the fire. But that, it could have worked, and it almost didn't, because they haven't been A enough to know where the precedence is of where people might be playing. So I like the fact that they were still able to just use that chaos to get through this on the side of LG. Now they've taken B. As they rotate around, coming from the top, dropping down. Sick trying to do what he can from the back of the site, but it's not going to work. An extra 300 in the bank for the team as that spike goes down. And that is actually a round that turned the tables for me and how I thought LG was going to be playing. Seeing Moose go in, it looked like miscoms. Nobody followed. There weren't follow-ups, but it was actually a great way to source where the control was in the A site. They find those 2 frags. The map is completely open because you know somebody's going to think A is the play, and they find themselves at B to win 9-9 now. It's all tied up.
Luminosity refusing to go away. It really was a beautiful round just a moment ago, but now Sentinels again here on the defense. They tend to put a lot of attention across the middle, stick with the wall. It's a bit delayed, but that's usually where that goes. And here we go once again. A little rinse, a little repeat. Luminosity showing presence on B.
Just a quick round. Should be Thief and the rest of the team picking up these frags here as he keeps the range at a good distance, knowing some, right there. Don't walk up on this. It's probably going to be a sheriff in your eyeballs. And they'll wait a long time for this. 3 ults ready on the side of Sentinels. When they do get ready and ready to go, they can put some rounds together, get somebody back on the map. You're just looking at Thief's Empress right here, and do not expect to see that this round. I mean, LG also can't give a ton of respect to a team on Eco as well. Like, it is Sentinels. You might get some tricky plays, but if you get it to 15 seconds and you're trying to fly into the site, I was going to say that's when a frenzy could get scary, but they keep the distance onto Zom. They take him out, and it's not going to matter with that Vandal shot. Beautifully coming out of Stellar.
Oh, you mentioned we hadn't seen a whole lot of A. They dial it up, and it seems like they dial it up at just the right time, right? TENZ drops as well. Sick and Dapper left alone. They have sheriffs, right? They have, well, maybe not. Maybe they don't. Dapper has a Bucky as well in a 1v5. I mean, and we've seen, look, let's not sell it short here. We've seen the Bucky do some absolutely filthy things, but surely even the Bucky has a limit.
Giving it a check. Ready to go. Shells in. And he waits.
Just playing for exits here.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, there's one. Almost gets a second. Your boy Dre is able to quickly lock that one down on Dapper's position. And Luminosity Gaming take the lead here on Attack on Split for our second map in this best of 3. Sentinels with a pretty dominating second half, as we saw, coming in onto our first map. So we'll have to see what happens here. With LG picking Ascent and Sentinels picking Split, it looks like they're just saying, thanks for the pick. We'll take you on your own map.
Now, if we get there, Icebox has history between these two teams. They already carry some history in and of themselves, but Icebox in particular carries some weight. Hopefully we get to talk about that here in a few moments. Luminosity, as you mentioned, with a 1-round lead here in the second map. TENZ, nice shot from Shazam. TENZ swings, the spike goes down. They get the damage done. Yeah, baby, Shazam gets another one as well. Luminosity down to 2.
And now, this is a great time for Shazam to start opting. He has not been doing it throughout much of the match. He can start to set this precedent that he's going to be changing position, controlling the map. This slows down LG even more. And look at the pressure that Sentinels is putting on a flawless round on round 20 as we move into round 21.
Very well played, and you're right, like, now you have to respect that. Right now you have to think Shazam's opping. Where the heck is he opping? You can't peek anything dry. And TENZ also plays off of that so well. As soon as Shazam gets that first shot, that's his cue to swing, gets a huge impact kill, right? Because at that point, the spike doesn't go down. Shazam can't continue really to, like, have open season on members of Luminosity there. Right. So very well played by Sentinels to tie us up at 10 apiece, Riv.
This is a big spend here for Luminosity. We saw that in their stats. A little peek from TENZ. Always loves to. When is he not going to chance in the early part? Even with his showstopper up, TENZ always playing on the edge. Love to see it. Here, the chef at the ramen place. This is the view he gets all the time. It's terrifying. You be careful. Sometimes they're just throwing blinds right in your face and they run away with your ramen.
People gotta eat, man.
Yeah, this is true. Thief may eat this round. Empress is up. It could be a good round to activate and try to be something big for the team. Walls drop there finally in mid. And there's so much more happening with that wall instead of what Sentinels would do to Stellars. They'd pop Stellars. They'd walk up through it. Here, Sick puts his up. All pieces are taken down. He's still here with some utility. And now they're just finally breaking through. And Sick it is. A great crossfire with Dapper. One coming in. I'm not sure how that missed, but Sick's able to trade one back. A flawless through. Another flawless. Sentinels is online.
Oh, boy. So I think the other thing is, you rewind a couple of rounds ago, right? Luminosity fought for middle of the map, A Proto was over on A. He took some space. They were able to work their way into vents onto A. Everything worked out great. But this time, it wasn't like you said, Riv. It wasn't just the wall. They invested presence there. Heavy presence. Knowing that Luminosity wanted to play around that area of the map. So well played. It looks like we're at a quick pause. Luminosity kind of understanding, presumably, the gravitas of the situation as they try to collect themselves. That's a terrifying turtle.
Indeed, it is.
And Speed Demon under it is, I mean, icing on the cake.
That's what you got to do. You saw the scoreboard there for a moment. Everybody's fragging all around, especially on Sentinels. Pretty much everybody was in the double digits there for frags, or at least at 9, and maybe a few just behind on the side of LG. It's just coming down to those last moments, and a lot of these rounds not even getting the plant till after. This is aggression. They're finding each other, and they're playing it down to the shots, not the retakes, and it's been interesting.
This map delivering off of again, just this calendar year, folks. These two teams have been 3 times, right? And this map showing why the series were so good in the past, and it looks like
LG's had pretty good record there, right?
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah, it's interesting to see.
2-1, a win at the Nurture Gamers Winter Championships, and the first bout in closed 1. The second bout went in favor of Sentinels.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, TENZ in a great spot there to stop Moose from blasting across. The wall goes up, but TENZ and Anchor gets another one with the nades. Yeah, he drops a great res from Stellar, though. It looks like they want to commit, Riv. They want to go to B.
Oh my god, the TENZ nade and 6 slow combo was disgusting. They're just shutting down. They're inside the head of Luminosity Gaming here. Let's see if they can keep it up. LG in a decent spot. An op to fall straight down would not be in favor of Shazam, and he's just going to look to pepper a few bullets into that hell area. This is probably going to be a save here for them, as it's a pretty good econ for them to bring into the next round. Zombs coming around slowly for spawn for a few more exits, as if one of these goes through, there's a chance, there's a push, but this may not happen.
Zombs also, keep an eye on him unchecked. Oof. All right, op offline at this point. Zombs just kind of like goes to do something. And a Proto takes care of him as well. So op no longer a factor. All right, so finances, that's what I wanted to keep an eye on. Financially, even with that going the wrong way, Sentinels, because of how they've been able to put together the last couple of rounds, still have enough to get Shazam and op, and he has a Blade Storm in his back pocket.
Look at those 420 bombs fighting each other there at the top. I love it. Like I said, everybody's participating here, doing what they can to keep the team level, and it is 11-11 because of that. All tied up here as we move into round 23. Paint shells, per usual. We'll start off here. And the slows as well for both sides are just, that's becoming such an impactful area to start this off, especially now when you're trying to harvest those alt orbs towards the end. That could be big for Moose to be able to get in there and be able to grab one of those. Peaks come out. They got Shazam in a bad spot.
Nice.
Thief is able to shoot. He dives into the shots that are happening towards mid. How unfortunate. But TENZ is able to trade one back to slow down the bleed here at the start of round 23.
And I don't know if TENZ picked up the op there. He doesn't have it currently, but he knows that op is down, and, well, it's freaking TENZ, right? Like, he's pretty dang good with it, too. But Luminosity here, they've reset, flipped the map. You see Dre still playing over by Ramen, make sure nobody's flanking around as they want to go towards A, but Sentinels seem to be pretty wise to it. They've dropped TENZ over here. They have Zombs here as well, and that should be the cue. If he sticks it, all right. Got info, though. That should be the cue. They're going to go in. Great paranoia, though. Oh, the paranoia was so good. Dapper was there on the flank, but Moose goes in aggressive with the showstopper, and they have to respect it. He has to back up. He spotted him. Doesn't have to get the kill here because the space has been gained.
Finds him. Zombs goes down. That could have been the thing to really change a lot of this round if that corner was not checked. TENZ heading into the site. A Proto has been on point when he has been called upon. 35 HP. Now in a 3v1. Neural uplink goes down. He's not going to be able to do too much work to get back into the site. It was a tough call, but you got to build him up for the moment. Great job by Luminosity Gaming to make this work.
Woo, baby. This is going down to the wire. Sentinels, and the thing is, Riv, you know, we talk about the fight for B lobby control, right? They invest a lot, you know, the slow, the raise nade, the Cypher Cam, and the Satchel Charge that's supposed to be there to counter it, you know, blah, blah, blah. Rigmarole over there. But then there's the op across the middle of the map that Shazam has played a couple of times now, wisely leering out, understanding that that's there. I think the fight for map control is actually going to continue to lean this way.
Luminosity wanting to stretch it to that third. Sick now playing towards that vent. He's not going to actually have a mailroom play this time, so he's kind of setting up his position differently, wanting to find the back of at least one, probably pull back out of that position, rotate back around towards the B side. Spammed right through the smoke as your boy Dre calculates that one with a little trigonometry and fires a beautiful shot to connect with the head of Sick. That's the round. That's exactly what they needed to. That's res down immediately, right, Doug? That's tough.
And wall off the board, right? Like the map is open. They have so many options, and of course, ironically enough, as I say that, they aren't playing the middle of the map, but given what Sentinels have done across the middle of the map in the past, you have to understand that there's a very good chance there's more presence than just Sick.
I think Shazam may have heard a little something there as he backs up. There was very quiet on the side of LG. Smokes and the rest ready. You can see the Omen getting into position here as your boy Dre sets this up. And Shazam ready in the back of the site. They have to get in. They have to take him out. He gets two, looking for a third. Here's the judge, and he's gonna find Moose as he lays down the verdict. Get out of here. What else is he gonna be able to do? That's too long of a range for the judge, and your boy Dre is finally able to stop him, choosing which to peek. What a disgusting choice there. There's only so much he could do as Dapper and the rest of the team come up big. Sentinels will bring it to overtime in map 2.
So much, right? Like, so much. The fact that the Bladestorm had as much value as it did is enormous, right? He was able to delay. He was able to get kills and then really kind of set things sideways for Luminosity. The pick onto Thief there, absolutely devastating. And then this, right? Just absolutely beautiful. But Dre does his best. I mean, he does his damnedest to make something happen. And ultimately, it's Dapper. Riv, I think this is the first overtime of Masters, is it not?
I believe. Now you got me, because I can't answer that because I have so many overtimes in Twitch Rivals. My brain is so just mixed with games right now. Yeah, we had some 30 rounds there, and then I watched the other game yesterday where 100 Thieves and lower semifinals went 32 rounds with I forget now who, as I cast the game. But yeah, there's too many. But I think you're right. I'm going to go with that answer as we start off our first overtime round of Masters. That's on Doug. And we're going to see what they do this round. 3 to get your ulties usually. And I don't see any ult orbs being focused right off the bat. They are trying to push up a little bit on the side of Luminosity to get themselves out into B here. And you can see your boy Dre already on that roll.
Yeah, and look, we saw this last time, but this time Sentinels wise to it. They were able to trade one out, but the wall goes up towards B, and then they push down B lobby, right? Forcing Sentinels into an uncomfortable situation, but this time it's handled so well by them as now they have B lobby control. Now they can work their way in. They also have Heaven because Shazam has taken so much space away. But Stellar. Big kill onto Shazam.
Good to hold that position. Everything we've seen from B Heaven has been noise before any of that action happened. So Stellar with a lot of confidence to just hold that angle, getting the best of them. And Dapper is going to be able to drop Dre as he throws out the smoke. 3v2 here. Who's going to be able to get the advantage in overtime? Spike is being planted currently by Dapper as they set up a little bit of defense here. The retake looks decent.
Wow.
They don't have too much destruction utility, but they do have a lot of that intel that they can use, and it helps.
Yeah, the retake just went from decent to, I mean, almost impossible to mess up. And they know exactly where, well, they may not. All right, he's taken out. Stellar gets three big kills on that round there, including that opener on a Shazam. And like, the amount of control that Sentinels had on that site because of his ability to get into Heaven, because he was looking to really double down on it and get into the defender spawn, that would have almost secured the round, Riv.
You can never leave it up to chance. A lot of good play there from LG, and they're doing it again where they're coming in as a team to take these off to make sure that it's not Sentinels securing these rounds. We'll see what happens. Sentinels looking to focus the defensive intel over towards B. They'll keep Raze as well to make sure they can use the nade to get a fake plan off. And Spike's down to start this off. It's going to be a real long round and a little bit shorter maybe because Sick comes up very quick with a kill there. Throws up wall instantly at A as you saw Sentinels trying to grab info at A immediately for the quick rotation back. With that death, it looks like the committal is towards B.
Oh boy. TENZ not able to do any damage. Dapper gets one, but Stellar trades it out. The heal's going to come out as well. They're going to get on to B. The wall's going to go up, and that should be plenty. But Sentinels here looking to put Luminosity away at a numbers disadvantage. Sick slowly creeping his way across as the spike goes down. Luminosity in control. Sick have to go aggressive. A Protoss clean shots are there, and it all falls onto the shoulders of Zoms. To avoid Icebox, to avoid map 3, to try to get us to a second round of overtime. Fake Telly into his smoke to keep Luminosity guessing. The blind fire through that. Zoms continues to creep across. A Proto does it, baby. We're going to map 3.
What game things have been coming out from teams and playing A. But LG, we're going to have them on attack first. We'll see what they can do. Thief back on that Reyna. It looks like a good squad here. They're not playing a Sentinel, though, so I'm sorry, they are playing a Sentinel. They're not playing anything with that intel. Fine, Killjoy or Cypher. Let me be specific. So I expect Sentinels to be pushing here. I expect them to find every angle that LG is not and be on their flank immediately.
It's going to be good. We are loading into the map again. This is the rubber match. This is a decider between these two squads. See Sentinels starting off on defense. Luminosity looking to see what they can find as they try to test their mettle on attack. A good bit of presence already down B long, but the spike is nowhere near that.
Quick little vision from the Owl drone there. His B has been taken so far, but they're just seeing what reaction they can really get out of Sentinels right now. Spike's still just chilling for the time being, if you haven't recognized that on the minimap for the viewers. And Sentinels LG is really playing the feel-out game here and testing the waters for each site.
Yeah, and you think about the utility that's already been
what
used,
a play.
Right? The wall goes up from Sage. They know that that's offline, and meanwhile, Dre has very quietly and sneakily made his way up towards A. He's going to drop that smoke across the middle of the map to, again, draw some more attention away from A, but that's exactly where they want to go. Zoms is going to be the first one there, trying to play contact, trying to keep Luminosity back.
I love the consideration. Just a small choice of utility usage on the way in. Yeah. We saw a Proto run over that spike. It was picked up by Moose. He planted it. So they can now get his cooldowns up and running. Dapper goes down to a Proto as they're trying to get back into the site to make it happen here. TENZ with a nice shot on the frenzy as Shazam also picks one up. They're running forward, but here's Steve picking the pockets left and right as he comes around from the flank. Beautifully done by LG to just read Sentinels on the retake. And it is going to be Sentinels coming up with that one, actually.
And they play that so well,
quick flop of the round
so
there, getting me.
Yeah.
Wait, like, so they get on the site, they get the spike down, and then Luminosity plays back, right? Like, they were playing to play it through chaos. Very similar to what we see on B, on Haven, where you're just spamming through smokes, through utility, what have you, to try to stop the defuse. They wisely just play aggressively. They go in to Luminosity. They get the big kills, and they're able to take that away. Meanwhile, the flank was playing out. It didn't have enough time. So well played by Sentinels to have the wherewithal to know where to push, when to push to make it hurt.
Proto pushing in, gets taken down.
Your fault.
Or sorry, takes one down, I should say. Just checking the score. Making sure I'm right on where they are, because I got mixed up last time. I don't want to have that happen for the viewers. Zoms takes 2. Always good for that, as we say. And now they're moving over. Shazam's 20 HP. Now, they've been working the defense to have 1-and-1 all the time. So you're going to have somebody the knowledge of Moose planning here. And I'm very surprised here by Sentinels coming in very strong on defense, able to stop them once, and LG is now forced to just scramble for these eco rounds. Boom. Yeah, not even going to go down.
That. Yep, I like that. I like how they play it. I also, you mentioned how they, in situations like this, we've seen Sentinels assume pretty similar positions. This time they kind of spread themselves out, right? Make sure no stone is left unturned. And as you saw, it was Dapper who was there waiting, able to take him out. But now we're going to see Luminosity from a position of strength where they're going to have rifles across the board.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, there's some bonus happening on the side of Sentinels, but it's not like they're walking in without rifles, Rev.
Shadows traveling.
Arden. Ooh, that's
Nice.
not what he wanted. Just getting the coattails of Shazam, and that's actually a huge drop there. That was supposed to be him alive for the next few seconds, gaining intel, giving it out, and making the first play to dash out. So now LG has a lot more that they can work with here. Nice job. The Sentinels pushing even more to get these trade kills out, but it's just the aim from LG able to come up strong. Is that kind of eco-buy bonus, I should say, not eco-buy coming through here for Sentinels. So good job by LG to pick this round up. Will allow them to face Sentinels Vandals next round. Plants going down. Stellars wants to fake that one for just a moment. And they're going to be setting up defense.
So you've got to be careful if you're Luminosity. TENZ is 1 point away from his Empress, and he's one of the few that had a rifle going into this round. So this round is not won by any means for Luminosity. They're assuming post plants. Zoms has a little bit of utility. I don't think he's going to be able to upgrade his gun, but you've got to keep an eye on the flank from Moose. Yep, it wasn't Moose. It was actually Dre who took care of TENZ. Drops things down to a 1v3. Zoms looking for the last one. Moose takes care of him. It looked dicey, but Luminosity was able to take the round away.
That's usually where we see Sentinels picking up, right? That third gun round, they come in strong. They are able to just start wiping rounds off the board of their opponents. So the good that we can see LG shutting down Sentinels here for a moment. How strong do they continue to play it, though? Your boy Dre stepping up on that Omen. We've seen him playing. The analyst has shouted it out. He's been playing well this series, and hopefully can carry that out through out the tournament for the team. Full util looks like on each side. Maybe not an owl drone there, but we're going to see that dart coming out quite quick here as Shazam gets the Blade Storm with an instant grab on that pipe orb today.
Oh, and he makes it pay off already. Goes up, takes care of Thief, gives him a couple of blades to the face, sends him packing. Meanwhile, Luminosity understanding A is not safe. Looks like they actually want to make more of an intentional effort to go down B long.
Watching their back. We talked about having to watch their back quite a bit here without having that Sentinel flank. And it's really just a 2 and 2. 1 and 2 in the sight, 2 off. Nice trade across. We might see that spike coming back right now, but that also could be them working off the spike. Sentinel sees that. They feel like they're going to have to put all their pressure over towards A, and this one works out very nicely for LG.
Oh, that's info. Look at how they're pulling off. They know where that res is coming from, so they think, okay, the res is there, Sage is over there. That might be where the play is. Meanwhile, they leave one on B. They hear the spike go down, and now they're scattering to get back to where the play is. Luminosity play this so well. Sick has no idea. Sentinels gets caught. Shazam drops as well. Dapper looking to equalize things. He and Zoms left alone in this 2v3, much like we saw just a few moments ago. Post plants for Luminosity as the clock continues to tick away. Zoms on the tap, steps right off, and there's the Hunter's Fury that you expect. Just trying to buy time, right? Stellar good for 1, Stellar good for 2. The round in favor of Luminosity, and what a beautiful round it was.
I love that ult at the end there. Knowing they're going to be coming from whatever angles you haven't checked yet, it scatters them a little bit and does not allow clean shots for Sentinels on the retake. Buckies and Sheriffs across the board. That Bucky goes over to a Spectre, actually, as Dapper is feeling a little bit more range is going to be in his favor. 2-2, though. We said this was going to be quite an interesting map, and it is now going round for round. Captain Shazam up on top there, fragging out pretty well to start with Stellar, the Battle Sage, 5-1-0. Bringing up the bootstraps there for Luminosity. We'll start off on to round 5 here. A little bit of love towards mid. Actually, a lot of love towards mid. Is Six going to be able to see just one, though? I wonder how much he decides to stay and trade through the smoke.
Yeah, no real idea. Dapper can really blow this thing up, though. He just goes down long enough to get the ult orb, and now he has an option on whether or not he wants to go in. Luminosity sticking it to him as they shove it down their throats. Proto gets on to Shazam. The wall's gonna go up.
baby.
Oh, but sick with the Bucky. Holy cow. Psalms is good for one as well. It's just Dapper that's left alone against Moose in a 1v1. He's got some utility and he's got a rifle as well. Dapper not nearly as fortunate. And the biggest problem here, Riv, is that the spike is not in the hands of Moose.
Standing ahead.
He can do it. Oh, the look away.
I have the spike.
The hesitation on that position for just a moment. And it's going to be 100 to 18 HP here. He does have 2 shock darts. Just chuck them in the air.
Yeah.
Play the floater darts.
Yep.
300 for the plant.
Charges.
30 seconds left.
He's trying to throw a dart out there for a quick second, but doesn't have it for another 10 seconds. And he plays the kitchen. How is Dapper going to realize this? Does he actually go for the high ground right away and put himself up on snow pile there? What a play by Moose. The ring around the Rosie, but he may not expect it. It's Dapper already crossed into the site.
And I don't know that, Riv, I don't know that he has... I think he's going to have to reposition from there to
It
use
creates a
utility
really
to make
poor
something
angle when
happen.
he starts defusing, you're right.
Yeah. So Moose here is going to have to... All right, there's the tap. He's letting it get to half... Oh, no. Yeah, I don't know that he can do it from there. Dapper, like a thief in the night, takes the round away. A thrifty one at that. Sentinels come up big.
A situation I don't believe Moose has put himself in before, understanding that he would be around the back, considering it, but the fact that you can defuse the spike from about 360 and a foot away means that wasn't Dapper sitting in the open.
Oh, man.
That's unfortunate, Doug.
Oh, it's so unfortunate, and it all really goes down there. We were, kind of watching it play out and wonder, how's Moose going to play this? Is he going to try to do some lineups with the shock darts?
And
but
it looks so good.
It did.
Standing
All right,
ahead.
now, let's see what they have. Given how that went a bit sideways, you see a whole lot of ultimates on the side of Sentinels, and Dapper's just 1 point away from his. Have an Operator in hand as well, and well, why Operator? Why Ultimate when you've got 10?
Ooh, is that a leg? She didn't come up there. They were able to finally take down Thief. TENZ coming up with 2 big ones. The Reyna. He's feeling pretty good on it before he goes down in this round. Round 6. 2 of LG now pushing in as far as they can. Moose and Dre open. Dre's had quite the series, but this is going to be a tough call. Nice start out. Stick gets a little bit of high coming in. Your boy Dre's going to know that's happening, but 1-2 real quick solidifies this round in favor of Sentinels. They're stringing out Luminosity within these gun rounds. Now, being able to pick off a few with the op it's not allowing Luminosity their full power. They're very good when they can trade off each other, and they haven't lost too much before getting into the site. And Shazam has found a way through the defense, I should say offense, that Luminosity is bringing to the table here with the Operator.
And that's a different look for TENZ. The narrative is, he's going to be unleashed. What's he going to do? Is he just going to play totally loose and make crazy things happen? That felt like the first time we really saw him do that, where he's like, guys, I'm going to go, right? Like, I'm just going to go and see what happens, and he comes up big there for Sentinels. Now here, Sentinels, no heavy aggression, no full send, as Luminosity shows a little bit of presence towards A. As we've seen a couple of times, they like to get up towards the bracket on A and then make decisions from there. But you see the one difference from what we've seen in the past, Riv, is Luminosity as Sentinels. Look at how much space they're taking. They have the middle of the map. They take and belong a Proto. A Proto was big there for one, but Dapper trades it out.
Takes the armor off as well of Dapper. There's going to be a res there. And quickly farming that orb to make sure they can get right back to a res situation as well. Thief's just hanging out. I'm sorry, Six just hanging out. He has ultimate back there. And he's going to start using it. 1 tag. That's going to be a double. Takes down the spike. The third one's going to go wide, but he's just trying to get it out so he can get back into the action. Zoms drops Thief. And with LG not having site control yet, they're still looking to push forward a little too early without intel on Sentinels. It's costing them big time. Sentinels comes flying in Spidey style there. TENZ picks another one up as Sick drops the final kill. And Sentinels, with their retake power, find another round here on Icebox.
They do, and at that point in a 5v2, knowing the spike just went down, you want to go fast, right? Like, don't let him get into post plants. Take any chance of some sort of shenanigans happening away.
Yeah.
But then I also think that Sick really there with that Hunter's Fury, it wasn't just the kill. Yeah, the kill was huge. But it does two additional things that I think can go unnoticed is it buys them time and it disrupts the area of the map, right? Like they can't play with the same coordination that they would have otherwise, and that really kind of blows everything up.
How do they play it now? Things are getting a little spicy for Luminosity. They are on the defensive side here. It always feels a little bit stronger. Or, sorry, offensive side here. It always feels a little bit better when you can secure yourself on D and pick up a few rounds, making the opponents choose what they want to do. Here. Whoa! Gets him with the dart out. TENZ. That timing as they walk into B. Ults. A lot of ults on the side of Sentinels right now to be used, but they're not even going to try to do that. A flawless round coming in, Doug. It's happening quick. They hesitate, and then they don't. It's over before you know it.
Yeah, and I think for this point, knowing that they were on pistols and knowing that they can often make something beautiful out of a really crappy situation when it comes to pistols, that time, nothing doing. But now we're going to see Luminosity here. For this half, right, we're starting to have this conversation where the windows for Luminosity to make this half competitive are starting to reduce considerably, right? Like you're not going to get very many more chances to start a snowball as far as economy goes. Rattle off a couple of rounds, get this to a competitive situation. You really kind of have to do it now.
Well, attack pause is a bit of that discussion, right? How will they be able to get themselves back into this? It's not going to be making snowmans. Maybe it'll be calling some info in from the Pangies. Who knows? But yeah, look at how many ults they have. There's definitely a possibility to pick it up, make it 4 rounds. They're going against Empress for TENZ here, and Zoms could be able to grab information if he gets himself across the map. So much in credits in the favor of Sentinels right now. If they were even to drop a few rounds, they're still very much in it. We're going to get the instant ult here, and he does find one dry. Is it going to be enough? Just to the left. And they are going to try to work off of this. Easy heal. They know who they hit on that one. So all they have to work here is just a bit of utility down. Your boy Dre doing that push towards mid. Usually where Thief would be. They're leaving it up to him as Dre is feeling great right now. And he's going to make his way into kitchen. How big does this play become if he can make the move before the team really activates on the entry? It's going to be one, but he's not able to get it as TENZ turns around at the perfect time. You got to be kidding me.
Oh man, and the ultimates that Luminosity had, the tools at their disposal to make something happen here are gone.
What?
And with them is the rest of the round. A flawless one from Sentinels. We talked about how the windows are closing to make this competitive. They slam that sucker shut in their faces.
That's a big deja vu for me. We saw Sentinels at the last map stringing flawless rounds together as soon as they got it going. And that can really be demoralizing for the opponent. You're reconsidering everything. You need more than one person on the site takes. It's not to say that confidence is broken for LG at all, but it does become a little bit more difficult when Sentinels is putting up rounds this fast.
Revealing area.
Cheeky little dart there that gave away the aggression from Sentinels a couple of rounds ago, but you've seen really since then, Shazam's not up to any of that. This time it was actually TENZ, a bit of a different flavor, but the outcome was the same as Luminosity takes care of it. You see a Proto using Showstopper, trying to get deep into the belly of the beast, but Shazam with the op takes care of him. Zoms does as well. As things drop to a 3v3. There's the res from Stellar, bringing a Proto back. Moose with 3 on the round, the op in hand as well. Dapper is left alone. Now, he does have the res, but you wonder at this point, Riv, like, do you even go for it? Is it even worthwhile?
No, I mean, if it was down to, like, almost overtime...
No!
What?
No! Dapper good for 2!
He almost actually gets it. Moose picks up the 4K, but that is a little too lax on knowing you did the round. I was about to really, really praise LG for their aggression, and then they're like, oh, we got this. Everybody take a break. Just call what you're guarding, and nobody realizes no one set upper, right? So that can't be happening. They do come up with the round. They lose a few weapons, but they are able to stave off having econ problems because that would have sunk them right into bankruptcy.
Yep.
They would have had to declare it and go for the eco. What a round there. But I want to see the aggression again. They were right into this site. Just not that ending that happened for LG.
And for Sentinels, even with that loss, they've got bankroll for days, bro. Like, they're absolutely fine. So for Luminosity,
absolutely.
That one felt good. Well, I mean, it almost didn't. But you need more, right? Not just to get a competitive half, but to really break Sentinels' finances to even try to have that conversation. But again, TENZ has been so devastating on A that, I mean, how do you do it?
We saw a bit of that at Ascent on Cat, how they didn't want to go towards him on those rounds. He had 2 Ks. I mean, you just walk away from that confident aim, right? Dapper, nicely done. Battle Sage from B. And he's going to try to give a little bit more pressure here to everybody coming in through mid, as that's the retake they like to play. They'll let mid open. They feel like these long ranges favor them. Up and down. Who's going to get the shot first? And that's Dapper finally going down with TENZ picking up the frag. And it all seems a bit just too back and forth with gunfire. Not enough utility being used here as they get in with LG trying to make fakes on the sites. They are trying to play within the window, but after this, what happens here? They lose Thief. They'll run through what B here. It just seems like they're all in the open, Doug.
Well, and I think the problem was they got info. Sick did when they saw going under tube, when they saw Luminosity going under tube.
Right.
And then they went in aggressively, and look at the position of that wall. Look at how far up it is. It's forcing them around yellow. Luminosity, kills traded back and forth. But map-wise, that round was won for Sentinels well before it was actually over.
Whoop. Dapper squeaks out of that one, just losing a bit of his armor. They're already in the site, though, and this is a full committal. Everybody's going to be in. One person that's going to be on the flank. That's Moose. He is ready, and there the plant starts to go down. It's going to be the Empress that comes up for TENZ. He gets slight overheal on, 130 for him as he stays in the site to try and do more damage.
Shazam with the op looking for him, gives him a haircut, but no damage was dealt. As the spike continues to tick away, you see Sick is just kind of playing around the flank, making sure there's nobody coming around. The Lear comes through, TENZ once again good for another one as the Empress continues to cause problems. That's 3 on the round. He's going to drop at the hands of Thief, and now it's on Shazam with that op to try to make something happen. TENZ comes back. Dapper and Zombs drop. Stellar goes huge. Stellar goes huge, but Sick's keeping it at bay himself, but now Stellar's left alone. He doesn't have much as far as gun goes, but it's enough to stop
wait a minute, wait a minute.
Stellar good for 3. He's got to swing around. Sick gets the kill, but I don't know that it's going to matter.
They got that defuse at the last moment. It looked like he hopped off it. He almost went down to the classic cheese, and it's not the case. 9-3. Everybody just causing chaos. We saw the res there at the end of the first half just to get it back in, causing a little bit more chaos for Thief. What a round back and forth to B. That's actually why I love B so much, is because once the utility is out, it just becomes a complete fire fest of everybody trying to get around yellow, back to the B entry, back to see who's in mid on where a spike can be planted. And it is such a chaotic fest to have. I love it. I love it. We're going into our second half here. Sentinels look like they could solidify this quite quick, Doug, if they grab that pistol round.
We're going to try to do so across A, using the drone as the entry. Well, and then shortly behind that is TENZ. He's got the frenzy, and he's got a kill. Man, all up in Moose's face, and he's getting a jumping one as well onto Thief. I said this the first time I called TENZ. This is his world, and we're just living in it. He's got 4. He's going hunting for the ace. Let him off the leash. He's digging it.
20 seconds into the round. He is in spawn. He is in the defender spawn area. That was 120. TENZ had a 3K already on the board. And then he kept going for more. Absolutely disgusting. And that's setting a pace. It's pistol round. All right, it's a breather. It's the second half. They might break. No, there's one. Keeps running through. And to get that much room without finding any resistance, you're giving TENZ everything.
Yeah. And like, you know, it really is filthy. A rain on a pistol is already so problematic, right? But then it's TENZ, bro, and that just changes everything. 2 points away from the Empress, has a Vandal in hand already. things not looking good for Luminosity, and honestly, it just seems to be getting worse.
We knew this was going to be a tough game, but it also, for Luminosity Gaming, but it also spells a lot for the squad of Sentinels here as they go to take B site once again, finding somebody in kitchen. That's going to be Thief. Can he answer back as he gets himself in there? Goes down to TENZ. Spike's planted. That's going to be another one. But it does speak to Sentinels before they, again, rush right through this like a freight train, that they've got a new player. Yeah, that player tops the list for many, many things in the games he plays, coming in professionally and being able to just put up numbers, say like 24 and 10, again, on a new team. But not letting that affect them at all, understanding how to play around that and not saying, hey, change X and do this. No, it's TENZ is on, this is how we play. TENZ can do what he wants. It's not free reign, but you don't reign something like that in. And Sentinels has been able to organize that and orchestrate it perfectly.
It's like asking Curry not to shoot, right? Like, let the man do his thing. And again, a beautiful round there. All right, but now for Luminosity, we talk about windows closing. I mean, it's do or die, basically, here for Luminosity. They have rifles. They're rotating over to A. And much like I said earlier in the series, where this is where Luminosity shined, was in retakes because of things like that. A Proto's already good for 2. Shazam trades it out, and you see Sentinels, they're playing back off site. Sick has to stay alive here. And you see him understanding that, playing notably further back. Shazam is there as well, just 2 members left on the side of Sentinels. Uh-oh.
Tappy's on the bomb. Spike could get defused here. He's going to hold it. They're going to get it. Oh, no, my God. It was just before it got defused. You have to be absolutely kidding me. They're going to be able to pick this round up. Wow.
No way.
You're kidding, Doug. You are kidding me. Maybe 0.3, 0.4. That was right there. I didn't think they were going to be able to get around the wall. Perseverance pays off for Sentinels. They push Luminosity back against the ropes that much more now. It's match point here on Icebox, map 3.
And for Luminosity, a Spectre, 2 Bulldogs, light armor in the hands of a Proto and Stellar.
Wow.
They're going to limp their way into this final round. And while that's a good start, again, oh my gosh, the adversity that they're facing here, the monumental mountain that they have to climb, might prove to be too much. And look, even if they get this round, Riv, you have to play perfect Valorant the rest of the way just to get to overtime.
Oh, that's good damage. 5 HP for Zoms. It's going to be tough. Spike is still all the way at the back. They haven't really committed just yet. Sentinel's trying to figure out if they can get a few frags here and there and make it work. And this is the round that semi starts to work in favor of LG. We see a lot of their success coming once they have a direction. Once that spike is planted or they're pinching, they have an idea of where the members are. Their 1v1s aren't going in their favor, found in the middle of the map, and it seems to be where their playstyle falls apart just a little bit here, directed towards A. Not too much roaming on this one. They clean up Sentinels for another round, keeping themselves alive, but the Sentinels easily going to the bank here. I'm probably sure they don't even have to hit the ATM because they're so loaded.
Right. And you see a couple of those ultimates that they've already been able to gather, right? Because of how dominant they've been at the beginning of this half. You even saw the Hunter's Fury come online right at the end there for Sick. So there's a lot in favor of Sentinels. And Luminosity, Luminosity's staring up a real big hole that they have to try to dig themselves out of. You hear the Blade Storm used from Shazam right off the bat as he plays back and Spawn, see if there's any flank coming through, and then Zom's already getting onto a Proto. Not looking good for LG.
Oh, pretty close. Proto not feeling it this round right off the bat. We're only 30 seconds in. And LG, they're going to have to put up some strong defense over here at the A spike site.
TENZ gets all the way in.
That's the thing. He's taking so much ground. When he does, he'll find 1 to 2. Boy, Dre coming up huge there with a few as Sick transfers back onto that. They get Shazam back into the game now, and it is still match point here. Series point for Sentinels as the spike goes down on A site.
from both. The 3v3
Big kill.
Thief, good for the first one with the Bulldog as he takes care of Dapper. But again, great position from Sentinels in their post plants where they can just do so from safety, much like we saw last time. Thief good for one, but Sick once again left alone in a 1v2. Shock darts there, no way. Sick gets it. Down to a 1v1. Stellar's trying to stick it. I don't know that he even got it to half, but Stellar takes care of him. We're going to live to fight another day.
Let's go, Doug. Let's go. Another round coming in. The pressure is on. The speculation, but the only thing that happens here is Sentinels gets comfortable. Oh, we need one. It's 7 away. We're fine. And a game does feel decently comfortable when you're this deep into it. I remember talking at First Strike to Shazam. I'm like, you know, they were coming up 7, 8 rounds, and he's like, they were always under 10. We never felt pressured. And so you know what they're thinking right now at Sentinels. They're like, all right, one more, let's get it. But hopefully that doesn't plague them.
Well, and now look at the financial implications now, right? Moose has a Stinger, or excuse me, Spectre. But Sentinels don't have rifles. I think TENZ has a Bucky. But other than that, they're certainly not packing the same kind of heat that they would want to be bringing in otherwise.
Diving over, double pipes. There's your duelist going in on the left side, trying to stick together. Moose gets TENZ. He forgot to check that right side, thinking he was going to find someone in front of him like last time. LG coming up big with a few frags, and that's going to be the round. Lickety split for LG. 6-12 here. This should be the purchase now for Sentinels. So we may see a slow round here, but a possible victory for them. Shazam gets that operator. It's how they've been getting their wins before. You pick apart LG ever so slowly, and then you win in the sight.
Right, and then if that doesn't work, you just send Reyna just to freaking run at him, right? And like,
give TENZ a jetpack, and he's on the other side instantly.
Right, exactly. Like, just that's the strat. Go TENZ, go, and everything works out. But as we've seen, the last couple of rounds have not been that way. And again, for Luminosity, if it has to be perfect Valorant, you can't afford a single mistake. For them to have gotten as far as they have already is impressive, but this might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. A Proto trading out TENZ. The Spike, fortunately for LG, nowhere really near a position of power, and a Proto's in a great spot here, at least to get a kill. No, he's not even good for one. He has to back up, and now they know where he is. They're going to challenge him. A Proto drops. Sentinels, excuse me, Luminosity just down to 2. Thief uses that Empress. He's alone, and they have to split the resources. They can't afford to give up a site alone.
4 is a crowd for Sentinels here. They're keeping everybody together. And you can always see them checking their 6. It's just one thing you have to do when you have compositions like this with no traps or KJ turret. 45 seconds here on the round. And like I said, a little bit slower here. Yeah, a few frags already, but the committal's going to take some time. A quick spam down to the wall. They know that person is reloading. They don't know it's Stellar just yet. Thief's on the way over. And they're going to have some damn good teamwork here to make sure they keep themselves in the game. Sentinels pressuring match point.
Yeah, and then look at Zombs, right? Like, even if things go sideways and they somehow are able to get it, it doesn't matter, folks. The narrative is done. Sentinels on the rematch, on the map that Luminosity's gotten on them before, show that the new roster is not the difference maker. They best Luminosity 2-1.
A lot of strength there shown from both teams. I think Luminosity wowed a few as well coming in to the tournament, and Sentinels expected to